Everybody gotta put the time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Voice of opinion and place your calling. WB. Be yourself, see yourself. This is a show, my people. Belize our hopes so to needless reason. Nobody feel left out. It's the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution. Yeah. No respect, unselfishness and cooperation. That's all we need to build a strong nation. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes to WB. And all the things that must be happen and not got blue skies. And nothing that people get victimized. Let's work together for better. We got to unite. Belize, yeah. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving. Na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put the time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Voice of opinion and place your calling. WB. Get up, make every day count. Don't waste it, people. Do your part, play around, get where you need to. You can tune in for work or in your vehicle. If you got a problem, pick up the phone. Why wait till the time calling? It's the show with no matter even if you're at home. Just call in. WB. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving. Na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put the time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Voice of opinion and place your calling. WB. Be yourself, see yourself. This is the show, my people. Belize our hopes so to needless.
Good morning and welcome to Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes here at XTV on your local channel and live streaming on Creme Radio. Wake up, Belize. You know, we need Wake Up Belize before woke became popular. So we just say wake up mentally, physically, spiritually. Wake up, Belize and Belizeans. It's our time of the morning from 6:30 until 9 o'clock for this morning, Thursday, June 19th, 2025, known in the United States as Juneteenth. I'm Sister YaYa Marin Coleman, sitting in for Brother Nuri Mohammed today and tomorrow, and it's time for us to get the morning started. We had a little rain last night. Dang, the mosquito. I'm at the end of the bus stop this morning. But you know, thankful Mama Earth need the water, same way the fruits, the vegetables, yeah, we need some water upon the earth. The usual lineup, the weather will be brought to us by the National Meteorological Service of Belize. The forecaster today is Crystal Rosales. And then after that, we're going into the first news brief prepared for us by XTV Newsroom under the leadership of Marisol Amaya. Then we'll open up the phone lines. We have guests scheduled this morning. So we could push on and get the morning started. Weather time.
Good morning. Moist and unstable conditions continue over the country. In the 24-hour forecast, skies will be mostly cloudy. Some showers or periods of rain and a few thunderstorms will develop around the country, but especially over northern and central areas during today and tonight. High temperatures will reach around 84 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 86 degrees Fahrenheit inland, and then 78 degrees Fahrenheit in the mountains. Low temperatures for tonight will reach around 78 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 72 degrees Fahrenheit inland, and then 65 degrees Fahrenheit in the hills. Winds over the open sea will be from the east to southeast at 10 to 20 knots, with sea conditions being moderate to rough. So please note that a small craft caution is in effect for occasionally gusty winds and locally rough seas. So operators of small crafts are advised to exercise caution. And then low tides occur at 10:51 this morning and at 10:38 tonight. High tides at 4:41 this evening and then at 4:49 tomorrow morning. The moon will set at 12:46 this afternoon and then rise at 12:51 tomorrow morning, while sunset is at 6:29 this evening and sunrise at 5:19 tomorrow morning. And in the extended forecast, some showers or periods of rain and isolated thunderstorms are expected around the country, but especially over central and northern areas for Friday and Friday night. And finally, for the tropical weather outlook, tropical cyclone formation is not expected during the next 48 hours over the North Atlantic basin. And this has been this morning's weather report from the National Meteorological Service.
first private radio in Belize since 1989, Creme FM presents the news. Informative, accurate, current information, local, regional, and international news, weather and sports. And now, the news.
PGIA protest. There was a tense moment at the Philip Golson International Airport Wednesday morning as members of the Public Service Union, PSU, protested at the parking lot. When President Dean Flowers arrived, he was blocked from entering the compound, and subsequently his vehicle and two others, including that of journalist Jules Vasquez, were locked. This caused a disruption in the flow of traffic because the union members insisted they would not leave until the vehicles were unlocked. Despite police presence, the protest led to a disruption of just under 20 minutes. The move was part of the continued action of the three public sector workers' unions, who continued to demand an 8.5% salary increase. Eventually, traffic was starting to back up, and a group of tourists who were being taken to the airport by bus were forced to walk the remaining distance due to the demonstration. Not long after, the vehicles were unlocked, but Flowers says they will be back. Also participating in the protest was NTUCB Senator Glenfield Dennison.
It is important that the government understand that the PGIA will be our new stamping grounds. We will return here. The right here, so all the excitement will happen until justice is served and public officers are given what they are due. They need to get their financial czar, to go out there and find the money that is owed to us. Because the PGIA, we will return here. This will become our new stamping ground. Because the international community need to know that when they come to Belize, then they contribute to a corrupt system. And so, if they want we continue disrupting the tourism sector, whether in the fleece right now, if they don't want we disrupt it, they need to also do the right thing. Give the public officers what is due to them. Give the public officers what they have worked for. And address governance issues in this country. And so if they think that today are the only time we can come back here until this impasse is resolved, they're wrong. And to those officers who don't even appreciate the fact that the fight that we're engaging in, which is to fix a corrupt and broken system that is paying them pittance. It's a shame that they act so quickly to lock these vehicles which are on public byways. And the Belizean people need to understand, and can't continue to allow these millionaires who have gotten rich off our backs continue to treat us like puppets and go with it turn against each other like this, man. I was requested to do some office visit at the PGIA. I am carrying out my legal responsibility as president of this union. It is not my fault that the Brisbane administration is afraid for the visitors of this country to be informed of the oppressive administration that he's administering. Their tourist dollars is going in the pockets of a concession company who is exploiting a contract that was recently renewed. He needs to say that to the tourists. He needs to justify that. No, he can deny me from pick up my people there because he sees me as a threat. The biggest threat is cabinet. That is where the deals are being brokered. That is where the contracts are being signed. And so I don't know no threat. As a matter of fact, I do have to fight to make the custom officer, the immigration officer, the Met Office officers who I just met with, those Met officers, if them people would take one stand, the injustice that is being levied on them, the civil aviation people, then we can get one simple upgrade. There's a lot to say about the officers that are providing a very essential services here. And like I said to them this morning, it is in your hands. The government has about 10 more days. And I love the commitment that I got from the officers up here today. And I will register that today with the visitors who they come off the plane, including the people where they know I'm going to pick up.
They stopped me too. They stopped you?
They tried to stop me, and then I told them about unlawful detention, and the senior police officers had them open the barrier.
That you're being barred entry from a public space?
Of course. And this gate doesn't mean this is public access. People are allowed to go in and out here, but to do what the airport is here for.
But it's also an airport, and they have to meet security standards.
No, correct.
You can't do a protest at an airport.
We are not protesting. We are being restricted from driving.
You have a protest sign, Senator.
UCB has informed that it would hold a press conference today. Minister of State Chris Cowie says the government team which negotiates with the unions will be instructed by Cabinet on the way forward regarding the joint unions negotiating team's latest communication on their request for an 8.5% salary increase. Cabinet is expected to meet until next Tuesday as the Prime Minister has been out of the country. Cowie continues to insist that the government can only give what it can afford.
Ultimately, we can only do what we can afford. So the finances, reviewing the finances, looking at what makes economic sense, what makes financial sense, not just for today, but for tomorrow and further into the future, is what we have to have account of before any adjustments can be made. What is clear is that we can afford what was proposed in the second proposal.
And was that, as the teachers read it, that it was including the 4% linked to the pension changes and so pension reform?
I think the pension reform propositions, that's been on the table, that's been ongoing, a part of the ongoing discussions between the government and the joint unions for a couple of years now. There's been quite a bit of analysis. But what is absolutely clear, certainly what I've seen, is there has been miscommunication, if not misinformation, being provided to the public by the joint unions so far as what the reform proposals constitute. There is no proposition that all existing public officers and teachers will immediately have to pay 5% contribution. That's totally inaccurate. What is in fact the case, and what is being put on as the proposition, is an incremental move from non-contributory to a contributory pension plan. There is no non-contributory pension plan for public officers in the entirety of the Caribbean and Latin America. It's a total anomaly that it continues to exist in Belize. But at the same time, I think the government recognizes that it has to be a process. There has to be a process, both in relation to contribution rate, in relation to retirement age, and in relation to the replacement rate. In relation to the contribution rate, what through the analysis done by both the SSB actuary and the IMF, is that contribution pension or contributor pension scheme be introduced in an incremental way over a period of 10 years, with a 0.5% increment being introduced each year until you reach the 5% at the end of 10 years.
The minister would not accept either way that they are tying the salary increase to pension reform.
That salary increase request happened after the CEOs got their increase.
Right. That's why there is an interest in getting the pension reform done.
Yeah, but you're making it contingent too in your letter.
No, I think what the letter speaks to is a process similar like what is proposed on the salary increase. What is, I think, needs to be clarified is that the government agreed to the entirety of the salary increase, the full 8.5%. Government fully agreed to the 8.5% salary increase, just that it be introduced in a phased manner, in a way that the government or the fiscal finances can afford. So it's not that there is any effort to try and not reach some resolution. There is, but and in largely in terms that has been requested, but it can only be done in a way that we can.
Sector workers' unions have turned their attention to the significant sums in fiscal incentives that are awarded to the developers behind multi-million-dollar investments, primarily by foreigners. They say if these incentives were reduced, the country would remain with more revenue. They're asking for a review of just how much is being lost in incentives. Yesterday, we asked Minister of State Chris Cowie if government would be keen to change this framework.
For every concession that is given, particularly through the Beltrade process, the fiscal concessions that are granted, Beltrade, or the Investment and Policy Unit from the Ministry of Investment, conducts a revenue neutrality analysis. And on the basis of that revenue neutrality analysis, a determination is made only, or a recommendation is made only when there is a net positive tax revenue to the government. So all those concessions actually have a positive effect, even in connection with government revenues. But beyond that, you can see what has transpired over the past few years, that foreign direct investment is at its highest in history. So certainly that foreign direct investment means investment in our economy, which means more business, more employment, and more commercial activity, which is a reason why you see our economy growing at rates never seen before. In 2024, our economic growth rate was at 8.2%. When in the history do you see consistent growth rates like that? And likewise, our unemployment rate is, not only our unemployment rate, but our underemployment rate are at historic lows. When you see that, that's because we're generating confidence to invest in the Belizean economy, and because of that, you have commercial activity that generates employment. So I think there are tremendous positives by the efforts of this government in encouraging investment, whether domestic or foreign, whether small or large.
The Minister of Agriculture reported that the sugar industry may fall $53 million short this season. He has described it as a serious crisis and has already sounded the alarm about what can be expected next year. In fact, he has questioned if we will even have an industry by 2027. Yesterday, when our colleagues at CTV3 caught up with the minister, he put into perspective how the shortage this season will impact other areas.
We have to be very sincere with the farmers, stakeholders, as to where we are with the industry. And we're not in a very good place. We're in a very sad state right now. In such a state that we don't know the outcome of next year. The crop is winding down. If you look at the weather, I think we have 2 days of rainfall, and that's it for the crop. It's over. So we will end up with, 825, maybe 835, maybe the most 840,000 tons of sugarcane, which is a drop of 120,000 tons compared to last year. We will be short of 23,000 tons of sugar. We will be short of $53 million this year. And so it is not a good place to be. Now, what does this mean? People say it's only numbers. No, these numbers have serious implications. Taking into consideration also that the price of sugar has gone down. The last estimate to farmers is at $54. Compared to last year, it was $87. That's already a significant drop in the price. And the other concern is the amount of sugar will be available. We have 12,000 tons sold locally, 15,000 tons. We should have that for local consumption. Look at the availability of bagasse. If you have less, 50%, if you have 600,000 tons, that's half of what you had in bagasse last year. So we'll have less bagasse. Bagasse is used to generate energy to supply the national grid. So there will be a serious problem.
That's the end of this morning's news brief brought to us by XTV. For more news for the rest of the day, immediately following Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes talk show, you could tune in to Creme Radio from 9 to 12, the Morning Stew, where you get News updates, commentary, community participation is broadcasted on XTV. It's live stream at XTV Belize on YouTube, XTV Belize Facebook page. And then at 12:30, there's a full news package on Creme Radio. At 3 o'clock, there's a news brief. And at 5:15, there's a full news package here at XTV. At 6 o'clock, there's a full news package. Remember to go to YouTube, XTV Belize, subscribe with a big friend. And then you could also live stream at XTV Belize Facebook page. Quick break. We come back, open up the phone lines.
Informative, accurate, current information. CREM's newscast. Local, regional, and international news. Weather and sports.
At Atlantic Bank, we stand as more than just a financial institution. We are your partners in progress, dedicated to fostering your success by providing tailored solutions to micro, small, and medium enterprises. Your successes are our triumphs, and every success story deserves to be celebrated. We pledge to stand by you every step of the way. Today, we celebrate the values that define you with your unwavering dedication, steadfast commitment, boundless innovation, resolute work ethic, and unyielding ambition. We will navigate challenges, seize opportunities, and continue building the future together.
Amandala is now online. You can now access Amandala's midweek and weekend issues online by logging on to our website at amandala.com.bz/news and joining our membership portal today. There's 5 easy steps to get unlimited access to weekly e-paper, archive publications, and a host of other exclusive contents. Number 1, go to Amandala's website. Number 2, navigate to subscribe areas. Number 3, choose a membership level. Number 4, check out using our secured portal. Number 5, log into the members only section. Telephone numbers 501-280-4703 or 202-4477. Fax us at 501-222-4702, or you could email at amandalapress@yahoo.com or amandalapress@gmail.com. Amandala, all power to the people.
Imagine getting rewards for your spending. Smart prepaid customers countrywide, it's time to level up with Smart Gains. Smart Gains are exclusive, limited time offers sent straight to your phone. We're talking irresistible rewards. You'll actually want extra credit, bonus data, and exclusive perks, all tailored to you. Because at Smart, we've always got your back. Don't miss out on rewards made just for you. Smart Games, Smart Savings, Smart You. Smart, bringing people together.
In 2024, the Belizean diaspora took over Los Angeles with the first ever Belize Diaspora Summit, and you know the only thing that could be ever better than that is to do it again. Belize Diaspora Summit 2.0. This time it takes place in the state of Florida, Fort Lauderdale Board Convention Center, July 10th, the 11th, the 12th. Belizeans from the diaspora, Belizeans from home in Belize, join together. Let's do it again. 3 3 days. Government services, clinics, business displays, kitty corner, pop-up trivias, panel discussions. There will be highlights for business mixers. There will be live performance of Racindio. Destiny Wagner is going to be there. There's going to be a live performance of Makobi. And you will have Immigration and Civil Rights Town Hall. Special guest Kenneth Gibson, interview and book reading. There will be a wind-up reception, rhythms and rum. It's happening. Police Dashboard 2.0, Florida, Fort Lauderdale, Powell Convention Center. Don't miss it.
Morning Morning, Juneteenth 2025. We're up on a fast track this morning because we have a Zoom guest at 7:30 to 8. And then at 8 o'clock, we have guests in-house. No one notice that I usually what I do, but there's a reason why I do it this morning. And then I have to do some report backs. And so we got about maybe 18 minutes. The phone number is 280-5848. So fast track. Mid-April, I think, last year, I was hosting WUB. I come forward and I share my experience where I had with Belize Water Services Limited as it relates to them cutting out the water at our UBAD Educational Foundation headquarters, our Library of African and Indigenous Studies. I never paid the bill on time. Then I right to cut it out. What they did not communicate to me, and that the first time I get cut out in that 29 years, is that when the water cut out, that according to them, you're required to pay a deposit. But at the time when we opened the account, you're never required to put down a deposit. No, you do. So I said to them, before I compare the money for you get reconnected, I ask them the process, I call, I come in, or never tell me. When I gone in for pay, the $25, the person finished the transaction, and afterwards, I stay for the second transaction. Then the person asked me for the paper back and then talk about the deposit. I say I don't want paid. I tell them I'm going to PUC. Long story short, it took 2 months. About 2 months. But finally, BWS concede that they want to take off the $200 deposit that they asked me for pay, and I want to make sure I pay the bill on time every time after this. But the lesson learned is sometimes, especially when it comes to utilities, that could be water, electricity, or telecommunications, Belizeans need to advocate for themselves. The public PUC, Public Utilities Commission, what are the regulator for utilities that Belize. Then next to BTL Park, that the Marina Towers. You go through the first gate, go up the step. To the left, they have one security guard. You're telling them one go to PUC, then make your sign and book, and you go up the step to PUC. Belizeans, only the people and save the people. We have to become more active in things with impact for we lives, especially when it impacts them negatively. First, we have to have the knowledge so that when we choose to engage or hold those accountable, responsible, we could do it without being quarrelsome. We could do it having the knowledge and the confidence that I have every right for questioning and stay with the process, because sometimes the process could be lengthy, but let it go. You stay with the process. Just like out today, day 289, since UBAD Educational Foundation have a hair campaign holding the government of Belize, specifically the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Labor, accountable for the violation of the Constitution in the students' case, denying them access to their education. One, by sending them home because they not adhere to hair rules that were set in place by European colonizers that adhere to European standards of beauty. And you have track over a 9-year period, 12 different reported cases of hair discrimination in Belize in all 6 districts from infant 1 to junior college. And so Belizean students have one right for go to school with clean hair. They don't have to wear any particular style. They can wear any style they want according to the Constitution based on cultural expression. Most of the reported cases have been African people, racialized as Black people. And our hair, I don't know if you have the image available, Alexei, for sure. I absolutely, you know what I like? When something is so obvious and we missed it. One of my sisters shared that post with me. People would say to me from time to time, YaYa, you have good hair. I said, everybody here good. Everybody. Another part of the enslavement of our minds mentally that we need to accept and embrace, especially Black people, regardless of the texture of your hair, no matter if it's short or if it's long, that our hair is good because the Creator make we so, and we are perfect just the way the Creator make we. So especially, I'm advocating this morning for people, no matter the texture of your hair, who identify as Black people, that your hair good because the Creator make it so. Hold your head up, hold your back straight. All we have to do is have clean hair and not accept nobody to say nothing negative, and I mean nobody, negative about your hair or your hairstyle. And so UEF advocacy is for a natural hair law, regardless of the texture of your hair, regardless of how you identify as an ethnicity in Belize. So today is day 289. Trust and believe. As sure as there is a creator, and I'm a spirit having an African woman experience, this law will be passed. It may not even be in my lifetime, but it will be passed because I am determined, and we have the creator, the African ancestors and ancestors to protect and guide us, because this is the right thing. The state is in violation. Former and current Minister of Education, Chief Educational Officer of the Ministry of Education, Chief Executive Officers of the Ministry of Education come out and give lip service and said that one violation, but they not change the hair laws, but put stiff penalties in place so people want to think twice before they ever violate one another Belizean again. And so we don't have to ever get this news story again. So the fact that they keep this safe means they know that the violation continue and they're not doing nothing for change it. So you have to lead the process to say, we want to sit down at the table with the ministries, the two ministries, because we expand the campaign to include laborers as well in private and public sector. With a pace for self, because we're ready for the long haul, and with the bill alliances, and it matters. We're waiting for the Belize National Teachers Union and the Belize Association of Principals of Secondary Schools to respond to an email, letters that were sent on behalf of UAF by the Belize Human Rights Commission of Belize, who they have an experience before as it relates to hair discrimination, for hear from the teachers and the principals of secondary schools. What are for them position other than it's a school rule? People often ask why Belizeans are so quiet, why they're so complacent, why they grumble privately, why they're not hold power accountable. That because of that exactly. Because then just tell you, follow the rule. That no rule should be followed blindly. No law should be followed blindly. That will lead to resentment. The enslavement of African people was a law. You know, make it just, you know, make it right. So only the people can save the people. We have to find a voice. The next concern, as a matter of fact, the person who is our guest at 7:30 is a brother from Trinidad and Tobago. He was a guest on Sunday Review 2 weeks ago. Brother Doc Curtis Boudou, and his specialization is in utilities. The bringer on because WB audience different from our Sunday Review audience. We need to learn more about the utilities, especially when it comes to the proposed buyout of BTL. So on June 4, 2025, 7 News reported BTL considering acquisition of Smart, Centaur, and Next Gen CTI. It's reported that the combined cost could be of these companies could be approximately 150 million Belize dollars. BTL is a national telecommunications company. They are Belizean people money. Belizean people need to gain the knowledge and hold the state accountable for so we know they pan that at all. When Channel 7 came out with the story, then they sent out one press release and pretty much they said, this is not new. Una never said and never true. So the fact that una said this story that not true, then logically that's true. So if the BTL board of directors who want end up to make the decision, and I want to make we know who are the BTL board of directors. There are 11 directors on BTL board of directors. Alexia, I don't know if you have that lineup of the BTL board of directors, but make a call their name so we know who are the people who have to make the decision if BTL want buy out Smart, Centaur, and Next Gen CTI. These board of directors, the chairman, as it is on BTL website, Mark Helm Lizarraga, we know as Mark Lizarraga. Jorge Emilio Espat is the deputy chairman. Directors are Alan Pollard, Jose Urbina, Eric Yuse, Melissa Balderramos Mahler, Chandra Nisbet Cancino, Imogen Habet, Moises Cal, Nadia Garcia, and Marilyn Young. Make I say the name again, I want to ring up on a name so that Belizeans know who we need to hold accountable, because it's the board of directors for BTL that would need to make the decision. And according to the Channel 7 news story of June 4, 2025, a number of these board of directors, majority of them were appointed by the Prime Minister. Again, the board of directors for Belize Telecommunications Limited chairman Mark Helm Lizarraga, known to us as Mark Lizarraga, Deputy Chairman Jorge Emilio Espat, Director Alan Pollard, Director Jose Urbina, Director Eric Yusey, Director Melissa Balderramos Mahler, Director Chandra Nisbet Cancina, Director Imogene Habet, Director Moises Cal, Director Narja Garcia, and Director Marilyn Young. Now, overstand, there's a stakeholders meeting this afternoon for BTL, and I'm encouraging stakeholders to stay active, be engaged, asked for records of the board of when this conversation came on stream. Every bit of documentation needs to be shared with Belizeans. Good morning. Thanks for calling WUB Morning Vibes. Talk to me.
Good morning.
Morning.
It's been a while. I'm here watching your show.
Yes.
They show me the board of directors. One of them our disgraced ambassador. The next one, they're on Rata board. Used to be the head of KHMH, I think. I think they're on social security. I know, yeah. Mr. Lizarraga, at one point in time, was seen as a champion for the people. But lately, you know, my assumption is this. Why buy something when done the dead? When they start off with Smart, they may have direct competition for BTL. I've been hearing in close circles that some of the owners of Smart realize they're not going to make it, so that's why this to happen. So my thing is allow them to suffer, allow them to go to business, allow them to go bankrupt. Why buy something when they go bankrupt? How does that benefit the country for buy something when done they go bankrupt? And people not sell their business because they make a wonderful profit, or because then they try to benefit, then they sell the business card and they lose. They know a shrinking business, they know a more competitive business, so they can't stay up with it. And everybody you just mentioned from the board of directors, they're like a well-connected clique. You hear me?
I did listen to you, brother.
You could please repeat the name then one by one, and I'll tell us something. I'll start off with
No. Remember, we can't be held liable. You can't say things.
No, I know they said nothing liable. Everything I said are true.
Okay, but remember,
Mr. Mark, Mr. Rata, that the head of the BTB board, he used to be one senator. I used to champion for saving the people money when he was a member of the other side of the fence.
That is true.
Now you get past this side of the fence. That don't me say that they're not for buying a company. All other media houses say.
Okay.
They got a particular, I could call it name. Our next media journal, like he busts the news, they tell you, these guys, they buy out companies where they go bankrupt. Why should the government do that? Any businessman know buying a competition and they go bankrupt, then watch it go bankrupt.
And then the next concern, David, is that the chairman of BTL, Mark Lizarraga, that the brother of the owner of CTI Next Gen, Pete Lizarraga, and then the next thing is, it says the PM family stand for make tens of billions of dollars of the buyout of both Smart and Centaur. They own 20% of Centaur. And Brisenia own the cable and internet enterprise. I had to read from the Channel 7 news item. So that's why I say when I talk, I cite sources.
Exactly, and I like to cite the Channel 7 to another thing about this airport contract, and then cancel airport contract, and people, according to Channel 7, where they sit down on board and own shares in our company named Diamonds, then that's the thing I want to talk about. Then are the problems, then are the leeches, then are the parasites to our society. I want to talk about the fact that you take the union president, Mr. Flowers, they try to victimize, they take our money, public money, for victimize one person where they stand up for the rights of the union. How, I think some, and I hold the media houses liable, because how Uno could have no etiquette, no decency for say so ads will not run. So ads will not for run. So ads don't make no sense for pay me $1 million you know for run it. Shame I know for run it too. How now put what ads in it, try to jeopardize, try to tarnish what union leader simply for doing jobs. That's not a problem. That the red alert is then they call dictatorship. They happen anytime you stand up for your rights, while dictatorship come up and stand up against you. It's not even 3 months, you know. Not even 3 months they're on track, and this to happen.
And somebody just text me and said BTL board meeting is this morning, and BEL shareholders meeting is being held as advertised. Public will be at the company's headquarters at 3 o'clock p.m. My mistake.
Look for the board members of BTL, Minister wife, Prime Minister sister-in-law, Prime Minister sister-in-law, there are a lot of things now.
And that's another thing that many Belizeans don't know. This is not saying anything about people that we don't know. Like, because we don't know the relationship within political families by blood and by marriage.
One big village party.
We don't understand how consolidated the power is. But I have to go to a break, brother, because we have to take one early break because we have guests. But big thanks for the call, David. Thanks, guidance. I don't have time to show the video right now, but last Thursday when I was on, I had 2 students from St. Ignatius for the St. Ignatius Fair that was held, I believe, Saturday, June 14th. My niece won. Kemet Tingling is the first Miss St. Ignatius. We'll show, if we have time after 8:30, we're going to show the video. Yeah, there she is. It so happened that our sister, Sharon Enriquez Marin, oh no, wait. Sharon Marin Lewis was the MC for that event. But we have to go to a break, so stay tuned. Our guest will be back with us shortly.
Watching WB, and this is XTV. Big respect to our sponsor, 4 Point Security. And the union have sent a letter to the government, and they're waiting back a return answer. And if the union don't get the answer when they look for, then there's a possibility that school might not be open for September. That are the 2 cents. Let's go find it out.
I would have feel bad because, to be honest, I want to finish with school more faster than possible because nobody wants to stay in a school long and people just want to finish their education so they could find a nice job or everything like that. So, for my comment is, I would have feel kind of sad. Thanks.
How you feel bad? How you feel bad?
Because I want to finish high school.
All right. See there?
I feel bad too because I got nobody to help me out the door. And I need my sport, you guys, since I went to school, got that to you know.
Ah, you're too saying?
Yes, and
I feel bad because I just want to finish school or done.
All right.
Whether the job is big or small, every super handy dad needs the right tools. And at Brothers Habet and Habet, we have what you need. Enjoy super savings all June like 15% off all power tools and hand tools, 25% off track car batteries, Eureka Vats, and Pisaforte towels, 25% off Penta Decon and discontinued colors, 30% off Valspar, and 40% off Dutch Boy paints. Plus, we're giving away $200 to 6 lucky super handy dads. Every $50 you spend gets you a chance to win. So this year, give Dad his best gift yet from Brothers Habet and Habet. Come in or reach out today. Happy Father's Day to all super handy dads.
At Atlantic Bank, we stand as more than just a financial institution. We are your partners in progress, dedicated to fostering your success by providing tailored solutions to micro, small, and medium enterprises. Your successes are our triumphs, and every success story deserves to be celebrated. We pledge to stand by you every step of the way. Today, we celebrate the values that define you with your unwavering dedication. steadfast commitment, boundless innovation, resolute work ethic, and unyielding ambition. We will navigate challenges, seize opportunities, and continue building the future together.
Imagine getting rewards for your spending. Smart prepaid customers countrywide, it's time to level up with Smart Gains. Smart Gains are exclusive, limited time offers sent straight to your phone. We're talking irresistible rewards you'll actually want: extra credit, bonus data, and exclusive perks, all tailored to you. Because at Smart, we've always got your back. Don't miss out on rewards made just for you. Smart Gains, Smart Savings, Smart You. Smart, bringing people together.
Tired of appliances that just don't last? Appliances that just can't keep up? It's time for a change. GE Appliances delivers reliability, innovation, and performance you can trust. The decision is easy. Don't settle for less. Choose quality, choose reliability, choose GE. Paid for by homeowners who demand better appliances.
In 2024, the Belizean diaspora took over Los Angeles with the first ever Belize Diaspora Summit, and you know the only thing that could be ever better than that is to do it again. Belize Diaspora Summit 2.0. This time it takes place in the state of Florida, Fort Lauderdale Forward Convention Center, July 10th, the 11th, the 12th. Belizeans from the diaspora, Belizeans from home in Belize, join together. Let's do it again. 3 days, government services, clinics, business displays, kitty corner, pop-up trivias, panel discussions. There will be highlights for business mixers. There will be a live performance of Racindio. Destiny Wagner is going to be there. There's going to be a live performance of Makobi. And you will have Immigration and Civil Rights Town Hall, special guest Kenneth Gibson, interview and book reading. There will be a wind-up reception, rhythms and rum. It's happening, Belize Diaspora 2.0, Florida, Fort Lauderdale, Forward Convention Center. Don't miss it.
to Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. I was in such a rush, I did not introduce 2 Cents Cam. Deepest apologies, 2 Cents Cam crew. 2 Cents Cam was sponsored by Fort Point Security. But we're on point for a guest, come in guest. We have Brother Doc Curtis Voodoo. I hear one echo in my earpiece. Morning, brother.
Good morning. Good morning, sister. I'm
It's
fine.
good to see you. That blue look good for you. For those who may have missed him, I hear one echo in my earpiece. On Sunday, June 8th, I had Brother Doc Curtis Voodoo as our guest on Sunday Review. I asked him to come back because WB guests different. So this is for we expert when it comes to utilities, water, light, telecommunications. Brother Curtis, tell me how you become so knowledgeable as it relates to utilities in the Caribbean specifically.
Good
Another
morning to all your listeners, and good morning to everyone in Belize. I'm joining from Trinidad, so it's actually 2 hours later. It's 9:30 a.m. in Trinidad, and it's very rainy. I hope you're blessed with the rain today in Belize as well.
We can leave it and some mosquito too.
Well, we have mosquito. The rain brings the mosquitoes, right? My full-time job is at the University of Trinidad and Tobago, where I lecture. I lecture in the area of renewable energy and electrical engineering. So I think all my experience kind of stems from this base of being involved in this area. In 2016 in Trinidad, we bought an electric bus. The university bought one. It was the first electric bus in CARICOM. And I began to share the experiences with that electric bus throughout the region. And by doing that, I got exposed to individuals in the region in transportation and the electricity sector. And since then, I've been doing some work in the region regarding electric buses, solar energy, energy efficiency, etc. So in a summary, on a nutshell, that is how I got involved in the electricity sector in the region.
What do you do in your home because of the knowledge that you have that you think would be beneficial to other people in Belize and the Caribbean because of your knowledge of utilities, how you engage utilities, that if we may know what you know, we'd have probably do what you do?
So let me first of all say that the act and the laws that regulate the electricity sector in Trinidad specifically are different for Belize. So we in Trinidad, we also have a state-owned and state-operated utility called TNTEC. And our regulator is called the RIC, or the Regulated Industries Commission. You have the PUC. The RIC Act, as it relates to public consultation, is much more comprehensive and broad compared to the public consultations you would find being delivered by the PUC. Let me just be clear, the PUC are following their remit and what they're asked to do by law in Belize. It's just that the law, as it relates to consultation for electricity rates, for water rates, are different in Trinidad. It allows for extensive consultation. To give you an example, we went through a electricity rate increase exercise in Trinidad about 1.5 years ago. And it was for around 2 to 3 months. The regulator visited different communities on a Friday or on a weekend and broadcast these public consultations. You know, I made the joke with you before, sister, that I prefer to watch these consultations than any other soap opera because of the interactions, because it's one of the few times the people get to interact with the government entities, and believe me, they don't hold back. So that experience went on for around 2 months. Because I am an academic, I as well submitted as an individual written comments on the electricity rate increase. The RIC in Trinidad compiled all those comments and the outputs of all those public consultations into a vast document which they published. And in that document, for each comment or question that was asked to them, they responded. They may not have responded sufficiently or to my liking, but they responded. So that gives you a flavor of the consultation and stakeholder involvement we have as it relates to rate increase. And I know it's something that Belizeans, it's high on their mind because that is something that's ongoing in Belize. So there's a difference in the electricity sector there. The other difference, and I should have explained this before I explained this one, is the electricity is relatively cheap in Trinidad. It's around 5 US cents per kilowatt hour. I think you pay around 20 US cents in Belize for your electricity. We pay. So the electricity in Trinidad is almost 4 times cheaper. And that is only because we have our own indigenous natural gas. So we extract and process our own natural gas, which we use for power generation. Most of your electricity that is fossil fuel based is imported from Mexico. So you have to pay for that. So that is reflected in the higher costs. So the environment in Trinidad is the electricity sector is a bit different and the regulation is a bit different as it relates to electricity. So I hope that answers your question and sort of giving a background on the 2 different sectors and how they are regulated.
It did. One of the big reveals when you were on Sunday Review is that in the proposal that BEL had put forward for a rate increase, I think they were saying it was like from 40 cents per kilowatt hour Belize money to about 43 cents per kilowatt hour. When you had the conversation with us, you shared that when PUC reviewed it, based on PUC's calculation, it was more like maybe 48 cents, I think. And that was a big, big reveal. No media house caught that, or from the review that I did, caught that. After we had the conversation on Sunday Review, the following Monday, XTV made note of it. And so, like, that's something that was a major concern for me, because most Belizeans that's what we care about, that we have access to utilities that's safe and that it's affordable. We know the cost of living has increased, the cost of everything has increased, except most of our salaries or our wages. So then if I don't know how BEL made an error like that. I give thanks, and Mo's made the point, for PUC having a level of autonomy, which is really needed, especially when you're supposed to be looking after the people's interests. And so the fact that PUC caught that, which is their job to catch it, but we still flag that as respect PUC. But then in the media, not having the expertise that you would have, that was not reported in the media, and that's something that we would want the media to report on. So what is it like in Trinidad? Do the media workers have that access of expertise, or they usually rely on you or someone like you?
Thank you for your question, sister. It's a powerful question, actually, a deep question. Let me just correct. It's around 45 cents.
Okay.
Belize was the corrected value by the PUC.
Okay.
I will start off by saying that I could congratulate you and the team here for seeing the need of engaging persons' expertise relating to a sector that you believe you may not have experience in. That's where I want to start off saying. Secondly, the media in Trinidad as well miss critical aspects of certain topics that are very specialized. They do. But they do benefit from Trinidad having 3 universities. And out of the 3 universities, 2 of them are major engineering universities. We are oil and gas economy, and for us to ensure that we have the local expertise, we have 2 large engineering universities. So they are very, they know that they must always engage the professors in these universities for comments and for recommendations, and they do it often. They do make mistakes as well. Things get past them that persons would notice after a while. But rest assured that what you're seeing as a deficiency in Belize is still a deficiency in Trinidad and other CARICOM countries. What I want to say as well is I long for the day when I could log into a Belizean TV show or a radio show and listen to local Belizean technical experts grant you the advice rather than you have to reach out to the Caribbean, myself, and others. And that will all come in time as the University of Belize is empowered, given more resources, and expands its operations to provide this support. It's easy to think about the universities as being a place of learning and teaching, but they are more than that as well. They are a critical stakeholder in your society. The professors and the lecturers play a crucial role in your society. They are the guardrails for your society in terms of making decisions and technical matters that the normal Belizean or the normal media worker does not understand, but is the everyday teaching topic of this particular professor. So you're doing the right thing already by engaging persons you deem as experts, and that's what they do in Trinidad. But it's really up to the local universities, even TVET institutions, to be resourced and be cognizant and have their ears on the ground in Belize as it relates to everyday matters. So I mentioned to you I submitted comments to the rate increase in Trinidad. I did that because I felt it was my responsibility to society, because it's unfair to ask the taxi driver, the coconut vendor, to read through a comprehensive regulatory document that looks at the electricity sector in your country and make a comment that benefits all of us. So that's something that needs to grow in Belize. The University of Belize being empowered, the lecturing staff taking up the opportunity, taking the mantle of responsibility that they do have for society that they live in, and pointing out these aspects. But in the interim, I am happy to help. I did not mention this in my introduction, but I work in Belize on the electric bus project. I've been working on it since 2021. I consider Belize my second home. So until you find these experts locally, you feel free to ask me your questions.
I'm thankful that we have you. I have to thank my co-host, who is from the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, Brother Akomotota. He usually finds in 2025, Sunday Review is focusing on the Caribbean region specifically. So he usually has the links for, I would say, Brother Ako, because when I saw the rate increase, I read all them pages. One of my European attorneys put it in an AI with all its limitations and its biases, and then it spit out to a one-page document, what made more relatable for I could share with the public. And so then I'm like, I need somebody with credible and have the expertise. Now, I could say this I could take up all the space to say this. I know there's not another talk show in this country besides Sunday Review that brings the number of academians with credibility because of their knowledge to talk about a specific area of interest. I would love to have more Belizeans, but I have not seen, experienced Belizeans who talk from a critical thinking mind and feel confident in what they say. And I don't know if because of the political climate, but I don't have that kind of trust. I mean, that's the one general statement for me, but for the most part, that's true for me. So if there's a Belizean who's credible, who is confident, who is knowledgeable, and who is bold to answer the tough questions in any sector. Right now, it's utilities. My number is 671-8050. I want tests to know and say if, because my standard of excellence high. You watch the guests that will come past on the review. That's why I could bring this brother here. I don't bring Papa Tempo. Being certified is not enough. you have to be able to think independently on the spot and be correct in your assessment and your response. And I don't find that to be true for a lot of people who have colonial papers that believes that are just from me watching the news, listening to conferences, hearing people talking independently. For me, they don't cut my mustard. Anyways, thanks for being fair in your critique, Brother Curtis. You're aware that currently we have an ongoing concern. The national telecommunications company is considering a buyout of the competition in cable, in internet, in telephone communications. My question to you is, in the Caribbean, what's the landscape? Is it the norm to have a competitor in these particular areas, or are there some Caribbean countries where there's a monopoly?
Yeah, wow, good question. So let me preface my answer, sister, by first saying that I consider myself more of an expert in energy and transport than telecom. However, I'll share my experience. I'll share the Trinidadian experience. I'll share my knowledge with the other Caribbean islands, and I'll share an experience in Antigua. Trinidad started off with a state-owned telecommunications provider that had a monopoly. And we had extremely high rates for mobile phones and internet. Digicel entered the region. Digicel, of course, very popular in CARICOM, the smaller islands and Trinidad. And all that changed. I have never seen a transformation of a sector as I did when Digicel entered the Trinidadian market. Our electricity rates, our telecommunication rates dropped. This is both mobile and internet. There were deals given on handsets that was unseen before locally. And all that came because of competition. And Trinidadians easily moved from one provider to the next. In fact, recently, the regulator, we had a situation in Trinidad that if you were using, so the providers are Digicel and TSTT. So in Trinidad, if you had a Digicel phone with a Digicel cell number and you wanted to convert to TSTT, you had to get a new number, right? You couldn't keep your old network number. That has been changed recently by the regulator. So you could take your old number and transfer to the next provider. So that's a recent change. But I have experienced the transformation that occurs when there is competition in the market, personally. Let me go to the other Caribbean islands. Most Caribbean islands have competition as it relates to telecommunication services, mobile phones. So Digicel is present, other entities are present as well. Let me now talk about the situation in Antigua. Antigua and Barbuda has a state-owned telecommunication organization that is responsible for internet and mobile communication. The internet service in Antigua, for a country with a much higher GDP per capita than Belize and one of the highest GDP per capita in the region, the internet service has a lot of improvement or requires a lot of improvement because there is this monopoly from the state. I have experienced state organizations and ministries complaining about their poor internet connections in Antigua from the state organization. So, whereas I am not an expert in telecommunication, that is my experience from my regional experience in working in energy and transport, that I have seen markets with more than one competitor or not a sole monopoly striving and benefiting the people that live there. I have experienced that, and I've experienced certain markets where there's one provider where it's not competitive, it doesn't bring efficiency, you don't get value for your money as the average person in that market. That's my experience.
And I appreciate that. Another issue I have, when I made the statement earlier about academians, let me frame it specifically because you made a valid point about the use of universities other than learning centers, that the universities are to be more engaged in social issues because that's what they're there for. That's not the norm that believes. It ought to be, but it's not. So that's within a university setting when I made those comments.
Yeah, so let me comment as well, sister. And let me say, one of the comments I think I started off with was the increased resourcing of the university abilities. Their engineering faculty is young. They need more equipment. They need more resources. And as they grow and they are properly resourced, you will have a greater pool of persons you could call on for expertise. And it goes for the social aspect that you're highlighting as well. I'm aware that the teaching load for lecturers at the University of Belize is quite high. And if you spend most of your time teaching and preparing for class, you have to stretch yourself to make time for society, right? So meaning that if you, let's take for example, the regulator's report. If your teaching load is significant and you spend most of your day teaching and your spare time you spend preparing the material to teach, you will have very little time to read a voluminous, technically dense report. So it goes back to the proper resourcing at the universities in Belize. They have to be properly resourced, and you have to realize that one of the core functions of an academic is not only teaching and research, but the service to society. So when BEL or PUC releases any document with any rate increase, there are specialists in Belize that work at the university or otherwise that could comment and provide feedback that is independent and for the better improvement of the society. That's their goal. Their goal is to make the community they live in more comfortable for all. And that only comes with the better resourcing of the university. So I believe in time it will happen. So eventually you'll get that support from academics in Belize in your show. And it'll make your job easier as well, because some of these areas you're not necessarily a specialist at.
You have more hope than me. I feel that when it comes to
well,
leadership in Belize,
you belong to a Caribbean community that
yes,
you
but
could call on.
A big part of the issue, and I know this is not unique to Belize, is the mindset of leadership. It's a very calcified, enslaved mindset. As someone who taught for a stint at Florida A&M University, and that's how I know make for teach inside a classroom. I make for up on the ground with a popular education. And again, that's why I know engage them, because they have one very colonial mindset. And them just not being able to, so one of the first thing, even as an academician, you ought to be able to talk in a language that people can relate to. You don't have to talk, but at the minute they get a colonial paper, they feel like they only could talk in a technical language. I am trained as, look, stop your bad word. You have one PhD, you so I could talk to you in a Creole. So once you're up on the Caribbean, everyday people listen, make we talk in a language where we could understand one another. So that's one of the things where right away where I rate you for. That I now have to talk to you in English because you understand me. We are just people that talk. You have knowledge, and not only people from Belize that listen. You have knowledge where people from within the Caribbean region want benefit for. So you're more hopeful than me. May I ask you, because this is one of the things with the academians, what is in the pipeline as far as developing when it comes to utilities? Were you excited about, where you did a research fund? Well, we don't know about yet, and we know till it hit way. Where you think, make I tell you, I'll leave it for what we expecting in the future as it relates to utilities.
Yeah, let me talk about Belize first. I know there's a lot of strain on the electricity sector in Belize. I think everyone knows that. You don't need to be an academic to know that in Belize. There are a few projects that's supposed to, in the pipeline in Belize, I am excited about, and I think Belizeans should be. There's a solar farm project with battery storage that's supposed to the last update I had, it was out for tender. So I do hope that gets awarded soon and deployed. I'm excited by that because when it's completed. I actually forgot the capacity of the solar farm, but when it's completed, it will take up a significant amount of your electricity usage, and that electricity, of course, being generated in Belize, it's local electricity. You don't require the importation of any. It will displace the electricity you import from Mexico, basically. And there's a battery storage that goes with it, so you add flexibility there. And it's actually a large installation for the Caribbean, in the Caribbean context. It's a large battery bank. So it's exciting for me what's going on in Belize, and I have my eyes on it, and fingers crossed. And so from the many Belizeans that are holding strain on the electricity sector, relief is coming. It just will take some time, but it's something for you to look forward to as that project moves forward. For the Caribbean, I like to introduce new technologies, or I like to see new technologies being introduced. There's a push for offshore wind by stakeholders in the Caribbean, in the small islands, and in Trinidad. It's led by the Caribbean Development Bank and the IDB. So we're looking at a pilot for offshore wind. That personally excites me because there are no offshore wind installations within CARICOM, and this will be its first. And the thing about offshore wind is that you get to install bigger wind turbines. So the bigger they are, the more electricity you could generate. So offshore wind farms give you more electricity because they could be bigger than onshore wind, where you have the wind turbines on land. So that's exciting. And my third exciting part, you could probably see I am excited very easily. My third excitable project is geothermal. So there are currently no geothermal power generated in CARICOM. Well, soon Dominica, very small island that was devastated by hurricane in 2017 actually, they will be starting up their first geothermal power plant. I'm hoping by the end of the year. So that will be the first geothermal power plant within CARICOM. There's a geothermal power plant in Guadeloupe, but Guadeloupe is not a member of CARICOM. They are French overseas territory. But those are the exciting things I look forward to. But Belize is number one on my list, with that solar and battery storage to come.
Give thanks. In Trinidad and Tobago, do they have let's say a public service announcement of continuous knowledge sharing with the citizens about the utilities? Because it's another weakness in Belize. It shouldn't be that BEL is proposing a rate increase, or the National Telecommunication Company is considering a buyout of the competitor, and then Belizeans are like, okay, how does one impact my life? What I need to know. Yeah. These are technical matters. I strongly feel to get adequate and meaningful input from citizens, there has to be continuous knowledge sharing, so that when we're asked to share our position on something, we share it from a position of knowledge, of knowing. Is that the norm in Trinidad and Tobago?
That is, so I mentioned that in the RIC Act, by law, the regulator has to perform public consultation. And each one of the public consultations, they started off with a presentation highlighting how the electricity rates will change and how it will affect you. So by law, they have to do that in Trinidad. It is something that can be adopted in Belize. It's something the government could take up. The government has, I'm not sure if the government has a constitutional majority in Belize, but most definitely they could modify the local PUC Act and broaden and widen the Act to include this level of consultation, so that the people of Belize properly adjudicate and are properly informed on any changes on electricity, water, and telecommunication rates.
Well, before you go, any final thoughts? Anything I never asked you? Anything you want? Make sure Belizeans stay on in toes both as it relates to utilities, Brother Curtis?
I want to say that my project that I work in Belize, I do interact with BEL, and I know they get a lot of stick for obvious reasons, but they are trying their best. They are trying their best. They're working hard. The Ministry of Energy in Belize knows about the problem. They're trying their best. They're working hard. They are the leaders for the solar farm and the battery storage project. So your very hard-working public sector officials are aware of the issue, and they are doing their best at it. It's just that things take time. Things take time to get done in CARICOM countries, right? And when you talk about a sector like electricity, it's annoying, right? Because it affects you. It affects you. But I just want to say they are working. They are doing their jobs. It's, you know, it just takes time. Can they do their jobs faster and more efficiently? Of course. But they are working.
Big thanks, Brother Curtis Boodoo from the University of Trinidad and Tobago. We appreciate the time you take out this morning. You share a lot with this morning. Until you come back, please make sure I see you so we could go eat something, brother.
Sure, I should be in Belize soon. Sure.
Take care of yourself. One
okay,
love.
you take it. Thank you.
Break time.
Explore the great outdoors with Benny's Quality and Savings.
Hey Belizean students, ready to unlock your future? The Social Security Board is now accepting applications for its 2025 scholarship program. Whether you're aiming for vocational technical, high school, or an associate degree, this is your chance. To qualify, you must be a born Belizean accepted to a school in Belize, entering high school, trade school, or college for the first time, demonstrate financial need and academic potential. Don't wait! Learn more and apply online today at socialsecurity.org.bz. Deadline is Friday, June 27, 2025. Remember, only online applications are accepted. Unlock new opportunities for success with a scholarship from Social Security.
Sea una persona ocupada o atrapada en el tráfico, o que tenga una circunstancia adversa o muy exigente, la tensión se acumula y lo estresa. El estrés ataca a todos en cualquier momento, a cualquier edad. El estrés es un asesino. Es mejor estar vivo que muerto, así que visite la farmacia de Freetown para obtener opciones.
Hola, ¿qué tal? ¿Qué puedo hacer para usted hoy?
Estoy bien estresado.
Ok, tengo una pastilla que le va a ayudar, ¿ok? Que toma una de eso al día para 10 días y va a estar bien después, ¿sabes?
Ok. Farmacia Freetown, carretera 28 Freetown, donde estás mejor vivo que muerto. Farmacia Freetown, teléfono 22 32 87 6.
In 2024, the Belizean diaspora took over Los Angeles with the first ever Belize Diaspora Summit, and you know the only thing that could be ever better than that is to do it again. Belize Diaspora Summit 2.0. This time it takes place in the state of Florida, Fort Lauderdale Forward Convention Center, July 10th, the 11th, the 12th. Belizeans from the diaspora, Belizeans from home in Belize, join together. Let's do it again. 3 days, government services, clinics, business displays, kitty corner, pop-up trivias, panel discussions. There will be highlights for business mixers. There will be a live performance of Racindio. Destiny Wagner is going to be there. There's going to be a live performance of Makobi. And you will have Immigration and Civil Rights Town Hall. Special guest Kenneth Gibson, interview and book reading. There will be a wind-up reception, rhythms and rum. It's happening, Belize Diaspora 2.0, Florida, Fort Lauderdale, Forward Convention Center. Don't miss it.
back to Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes for this morning, Juneteenth 2025. It's 160 years ago. Our enslaved African ancestresses and ancestors in the state of Texas got the legal freedom 2 years after the rest of them. The rest of them, we get it January 1st, 1863. Anyways, it's guest time. You know, this is unusual for me, but you know that people must be special for me because I got them as guests. I mean, I bring them tomorrow, you know, but then I got an event tonight and I want to get in some airtime. So we have with us in the studio this morning the manager of Spooner's Reggae Cafe with brother Ryan Rivera. Good morning, Ryan. Mr. YaYa, sister. Just call me Sister YaYa. Yes, yes. First off, I have to give the brother credit. Because he come way early. He was scheduled for 8 o'clock and for 7:30 there. So that one. Star next to your name. I like people on time. Life happens, sometimes you could be late. Now, I don't know, Ryan Rivera could be anybody. I don't know who that Ryan Rivera, but I'm pleased to say that a young black youth. How you turn manager at Spooner's Reggae Cafe? First off, most of us familiar with Spooner's Cafe. The owner of the spot, what we call local white man Spooners, Debout, known for being a community partner. I know for years it was a space where YUB Educational Foundation under Virginia Eccles and Sean Tega used as a fundraiser and a self-poetry night. But now it's Spooner's Reggae Cafe. It's under black management. Black man, Jamaican owner, black woman, Belizean owner, managers, because the spot that's still for Spooners, but it's being managed by them. So first off, I can be very clear. There's a rebranding. Black people that run Spooner's Reggae Cafe. It makes a difference because for me, you know, I want to go to black owned business as a first priority. But they're not just black owned. It's the level of excellence and the food that's being served. Anyways, that's a Ryan job for that. But Ryan, yes, how come you turn the manager of Spooner's Reggae Cafe? We have to name, say who that is, people name where you work for.
Well, the people that I work for, I've been working with them for the past, I would say, 5 to 6 years before Spooner's Reggae Cafe.
Really? Give us stories. Who are the people? What are you going to do with them?
I was the worker at Civic under the management of Mr. Gart. I was with him for approximately 3.5 years at the Civic. I was the events manager, so I set up all the shows, basketball courts, whatever events is being hosted at the Civic Center. I was the one behind the scenes, setting it up, taking it down.
Cha, first time I see you.
That's why I said behind the scenes.
The front of the scene, the front of the camera now.
Yes,
Respect
yes,
to be a young black youth. Where you get training for that? Because events coordinator or events manager are not light.
No, it's
especially
not.
for a space the size of Civic.
It's not.
A lot of things could go wrong and go wrong.
And trust me, we had several times where we were like, I mean, we really can't do this. We have an event tonight. We have to stay for take down, for set up for the next event. So I found myself whereby I had to literally sit down and map out each and every event and how I would start it and how I would finish it and how I would monitor it in the night.
So you self-taught for the most part?
Yes.
I like it, I like it. School of hard knocks.
And then when it comes to the physical, the actual physical work of it, that's whereby Mr. Gart experience came in. He basically taught me physically and showed me whereby, all right, this is how it's done. I tried it. Maybe I wasn't perfect at it at first, but I tried it until eventually, you know, I got it the way how he wanted to be done. With a little twist from my end as well, but with all the knowledge that he shared with me from the years he's been doing this, I mean, I'm not even halfway.
Are we talking about brother Gart Guthrie?
Yes.
Jamaican brother.
Yes.
Real brother.
Yes.
Yari.
Down to earth brother.
Married to a Belizean sister.
Yes.
Respect. So, okay, so, all right, that helped with Because you wanna how somebody so young get such a big, because brother Gart, and I just meet the man first time Thursday, I got drink tea before I got protest. And I was really pleased with being able to relate to him and it being very frank, open about what the expectation is for that particular space.
Yes.
Now, when you get that Spooner's Reggae Cafe, when you push the door, you enter into the cafe itself.
Yes.
As per usual, it's clean, well lit, engaging, and then you have one back area where you could go and sit down, enjoy Halover Creek. Now, a lot of way, like I get exposed to it when XTV had Reef Week this year.
Yes.
That's the whole call I know, say, and that new management. I'm like, hey, I have forgotten now. So tell me about the ambience of the space, what make this particular space engaging to Belizeans. And because you have more coffee houses you could go to, you have more delis you could go to, you got more places you could go eat food. What make Spooner's Reggae Cafe different from other experiences that Belize?
Okay, the first, what people will have to understand is like what you said, it's new management. So the food, it's different. That's the first thing. The most challenging part for us is to show people that we are a family at Spooner's Reggae Cafe. We could work together and like what you said, the ambience. So when you walk in, the first thing you'll meet is the cafe itself, where we serve self-serve coffee and iced coffee. We have also the fraps. We have
what kind of price are the top about?
Belizean price.
Okay,
because a lot of the Belizeans would feel or think that it's in US because they mostly see tourists enter the establishment. But I mean, you could get a regular coffee for no less than $12, $11, $10.
Which is the going price that you would pay in other places as well.
Exactly. We have the regular Belizean food with a little Jamaican twist to it as well, because you know we have to keep the Jamaican in it. You can get your rice and beans, you can get your curry chicken. The special right now, YaYa, is the jerk chicken and the oxtail.
I know you know that, but go there strong and big up that thing there. So, and then we could have for breakfast.
The breakfast, we do the Belizean style breakfast as well, where you can get your ham, your egg, your cheese, your bacon, your fried jack as well. You could get your Johnny cake, you could get your croissant, and
Milo.
Yes, you could get your Milo, but the most favorite of all for me is the stuffed jack. This is a Belizean style stuffed jack with a Jamaican twist to it.
Tell me what you know the stuffed jack.
So the stuffed jack contains egg, ham, beans, cheese, and we give you a 2 slices of plantain.
You know the stuffed jack?
Yes, and you can get either the brown stew chicken or the curry chicken inside the stuffed jack.
I can tell you right now, you don't bother stop me out the road and say I could come on WB because I know you usually do this. I have one bias to black owned and black managed businesses, people who provide service at one level of excellence. You have to be consistent with your service. And so the people who work there, it make one difference that you come over, you introduce yourself as wait staff, you smile, your face don't make up when people come in your place.
Yes.
You check in on people if they need anything before they even ask if they need anything. Customer service known culturally to be weak, that believe so that one big thing will matter to me.
And that's what we've been trying to work on from since we took over the management. Just to get the girls and everyone up to par in regards to like what you said, whenever a customer walks in, you know, the first thing you do is to greet them. You know, you don't want to be too nagging, but at the same time, keep it whereby they feel like, all right, I'm not just sitting in a restaurant waiting for my food or sitting inside a cafe waiting for my food. You know, the girls, they came, they checked on me, they brought me a glass of water. You know, the small little things that people would overlook, people would not pay mind to or even want to do.
Right. So that matters. So, variety in our food. What are the hours of operation?
Our hours of operation is we open from 6. We get there at 6. We open from 8. And then it would be Monday through Thursday from 8 till we gotta cater for the customer. So if we're closing at 3 and a customer walks in at 3, then we try to accommodate them.
Well, I may get this 7 o'clock Thursday, and I make I know they open 7:30. I'm like, so I stand up out there. I'm like, this is like me. I don't wait for no business open, but I mean, want to come in on a business. So no, we don't have one big event tonight.
Yes.
So I'm like, I mean, I bring out tomorrow, but when I say that big event tonight, I said, like, I get early airtime. Tell me about the big event tonight.
So tomorrow is the event called Juneteenth.
Tomorrow, today,
sorry.
Right,
today is the event called Juneteenth. It's a comedy show. We have to big up Comedy Belize as well. These guys, they're trying to bring a twist to Belize in regards to comedy. Mr. Green, Mr. James Pollard, and Belizean Chosen Kid. The show is, I mean, it's something new to Belizean.
I just because I asked God, I said, where do people come from? He said, from Belize. I said, me never hear about it yet. And I tell you, Belizean people that want hard, that people for laugh. You could really get all the jokes they want, and I said, don't like,
yes,
that's not funny to me. So then better make sure they're funny.
I mean, a lot of them know who is Mr. Green, Tyrone Green to be exact.
I've never heard of the person in my life.
I don't know if you're a fan of TikTok.
No. So I'm a different generation of people too.
And I mean, a lot of the Belizeans know him as June. He plays more characters as well. And you have the young man, Mr. Pollard. He's very well known to the Belizean public as well. So it's going to be a very nice show tonight. My suggestion to the audience, please come out early.
What time the show?
The show, doors open at 6, show time 8.
What? Whole of 2 hours when we got people there?
Yes, because we have to make sure everyone is seated in the way how we have it set up. So
no mind they know. They want you eat 2 hours, wait there 2 hours and spend some money. I can't blame the people here. That's not a marketing strategy.
You have to have some type of marketing strategy.
So what are the pan menu tonight? Anything special on the pan menu tonight?
Tonight we have mostly finger foods.
Okay.
We have fingers, wings, stuffed peppers. We have.
We don't have fish fillet. Like fillet fingers.
The fillet fingers. We could do the fillet fingers if you come.
Okay. Oh, that's no. See how they put. You see how they put in past spot. You see how they put in past spot. I don't make no commitment. We are sick.
It's mostly finger foods for the most part. Like I said, fingers, wings. We have stuffed peppers. We have ceviche. We have nachos. Okay. If you would want maybe a small serving of the chips and dips, like we would say, we can accommodate you in that way.
Wanna have a drink?
The drink spot is where everybody normally wants to hear.
Like I hear about it.
Everybody normally wants to hear. So we have a wide variety of drinks, which is we have the Carib, the Mackeson, the Caribe. We have frozen margarita. We have margaritas on the rocks. We have pina colada. We have the P Ripper as well. I know people are waiting for hear the deals. As in the price.
Yes.
Because you know, normally Belizeans, they go out on a budget.
Yes.
And they try to keep within that budget. So we do what we call the 3 for 10, the 3 for 12, 2 for 1 special, on local drinks as well, because we try to keep it local, whereby we do the 3 for 10 Travelers, the 3 for 10 Carib, the 3 for 10 Carib Rose, and just a lot of deals to keep people interacting with the audience and with the comedian as well. So you could look out for a lot tonight.
Tell people what part of Spooner's Reggae Cafe there. I mean, if you don't want to pull up in on a boat, you can pull up in on a boat, you know, kind of right the Halloween Creek side, water side.
I mean, a lot of people hear the name from Mr. Spooner's and hear the name now Spooner's Reggae Cafe, and they're not sure as to the address. So I'm going to give a brief, what you would say, follow location. So once you get over the swing bridge, it's not hard to find. Everybody know what it is.
It depends on the direction of the swing bridge. You're going towards Queen Street Police Station.
Yes.
You're not going towards the
Albert
car.
Street. You're not going towards
Right.
Albert. If you're coming from Albert Street going towards the Queen Street Police Station, you're going to make a left.
All right.
All right. See, I'm looking on my side. On my side. You're going to make a left.
All right.
A right.
Yes.
A
You
right.
come over the bridge coming
Make
from
a right.
from Mopa Old Market there, the big clock there.
Yes,
You
you
come
make
off
a
of the
right.
bridge. If you go straight, you go to Queen Street Police Station.
No,
you don't want to go to police
You don't
station.
want to go there.
You're going to Spooner's Reggae Cafe, pan the right. Okay, you
Right.
make the right and then what
You
else?
make the right after Sprinters. You go down, I would say about 2 to 3 buildings down. That would be on your right.
Yes.
So you go down and you'll see the sign right across from, just across from the library. There's a library.
Maybe the more in front of the fried chicken place.
Yes.
Chinese,
yeah. Well, not directly in
Not
front
direct,
of it,
but yeah.
they would say in between.
Yeah,
in
yeah,
between.
yeah. In between the library and the fried
And
chicken spot,
yes.
across the street, Spooner's Reggae Cafe. You know, because the cafe won't open or just the back area
The
open?
cafe would be open and the side gate to go inside the courtyard and the deck would be open as well.
And somebody wanted at the gate, of course, at 6 o'clock.
Yes,
For-
someone would
for-
be at the gate to if we have walk-in,
Right.
you pay at the gate. If you have your ticket stub with the code on it, they don't scan
Oh,
it.
you
and-
could pre-purchase a ticket?
Yes, you can
Tell me about
pre-purchase
that.
your
How you
ticket.
could pre-purchase a ticket?
Tickets are available at Spooner's Reggae Cafe right now, so you could go there and you could purchase a ticket, or you could contact any one of the comedians them and purchase a ticket through them.
Gone clear.
So
I never think about it. Should I bring 2 tickets for make you could ask people listening, you could ask you a question and then.
I mean, they could still pick it
sure.
up at the
So
cafe
you
as well.
want, so you know, what I say is you could offer 2 tickets to people.
Yes.
You could ask some question like, what are the location of Spooner's Reggae Cafe? And what time the doors open tonight? If you could call in the number that 2805848, you don't have 5 minutes. 2805848. You don't have to say, tell me exactly how to get the Spooner's Reggae Cafe and what time the doors will open tonight for the comedy show. How much the tickets then cost?
$20.
20 Belize dollars. 3
Belize
Belizean
dollars.
comedians. Watch out. There you go. Man, my people. Morning. Thanks for calling WB. Talk to it. Morning. Talk to him.
Morning.
Tell me.
Comedian are one of my favorite, but forget that Schooners. If you come from downtown Belize City, you will come across the famous Belize City swing bridge, make one right. You will pass the water taxi. You will pass the court. And just after you pass side, before you get to side Musa building, Schooners is right of that location. Musa building there. And that is Schooners right there. It's my favorite restaurant.
And what time the doors are open tonight?
Well, the doors tonight, I understand, were open. I think they're approximately about 7.
No, wrong answer. God's good. Right there, that's the father. Next call. Make sure you come tonight, though.
I'll definitely look for the good. Yes, ma'am.
All right, one love, guidance. All right. The next caller, the number is 2805848. Then don't give me the first half of the question. You have to tell me how to get the Spooner's Reggae Cafe and tell me what time the doors are open tonight for the comedy show. Tickets are $20. Is there a number that people could call the cafe?
Yes, the number to call is 223-1043.
Thank you for calling. You have the answer to the 2-part question?
Yes, good morning.
Morning. You don't forget a Spooner's Reggae Cafe. You could tell me how to get there?
Yes, like the most famous, like the guy just said that was called, he's a famous guy, by the way. You go over the swing bridge, take a right, you pass the water taxi,
yes,
the court,
yes,
and then just before you reach to the San Musa law firm, there is Schooners right next to it.
Very good. And what time doors are open tonight?
Those open at 6.
Yes. We have a winner. Now tell me your full name because you have to show up the Spooners tonight with your ID.
Yes.
Your full name.
Okay.
What's your name?
Greg Peters.
Greg Peters?
Yes, ma'am.
Peters.
That's right.
You know your ID said Greg Peters or it said Gregory Peters?
You know that.
No, that's what I tell you now. No, make you get out of gate tonight and say, brother, you say you need Greg and this ID no got Greg. Okay then. We're not doing like that, Greg. We're not doing like that, Greg. Greg, we're not doing that, Greg. You got 2 tickets to get the Spooners tonight. No, Greg, since you get free ticket, you have to splurge on some food and drinks when you get it, Greg.
Definitely.
And bring your friend there with you and tell your friend to tell our friend for calling the Spooners Reggae Cafe tonight, yes. But so thanks for the call, Greg. Appreciate it.
All right, welcome.
Okay, brother. What are the days of operation?
Our days of operation, we are open from Monday to Sunday.
What?
Yes, Monday.
7 days a week?
Monday to Sunday.
But I want to rest. Want to rest?
Sometimes.
Okay, so Monday and open 7 days a week.
7 days a week.
All right, good. And give the numbers to Spooners Reggae Cafe one more time. We're going to take this call and then we'll end the segment.
You can call 223-1043.
Thanks, brother. Last call for the segment. Talk to me.
Morning, sister.
Morning, we don't give away the tickets there already.
No, I know they can't see the tickets. That's what I'm call, but yeah. I wanna go through my Majesticalin, right?
Yes.
For us as a child, where Spooners is located now was like a still that a man place, so no not go there. So we used to look at it as a scary place. So I've never set foot in that facility for no reason at all, because still back in for women as kids, you're not going to go in a man place for some reason that we were never told. So now, take me 62 years now, I'll try to go in there and see what is that about. But being a colonial home and running around it as a child, it was off our limits. For what reason, I don't know. So, big up to Spooners, and after all these years, first time I will try going in there.
Give thanks, Sister Julia. Encourage me to come out tonight. Thanks, Sister Julia. So tonight, Sister Julia after 50. So you see, and this is where I'm going to tell Brother Garth. It make one difference. We just talk real, I believe. This sister name the string must say that you majestically.
Yes.
And she tell you that then tell them no stay out of the man place. But now they tell all of them, come in at the man place and the woman place. Black people they manage it now. Come in.
Yes.
Give thanks to the call and the storytelling, Sister Julia.
Yes.
One love.
Big up.
Well, thank you so much. We had the manager of Spooners Reggae Cafe, Brother Ryan Rivero. You did an excellent job, brother. No matter, you could send us some free breakfast the morning to XTV and tell us straight.
No problem.
And we are Monday through Friday, 6:30 to 9. We're going to take one quick break, come back, and finish up the rest of Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes Talk Show.
In 2024, the Belizean diaspora took over Los Angeles with the first ever Belize Diaspora Summit, and you know the only thing that could be ever better than that is to do it again. Belize Diaspora Summit 2.0. This time it takes place in the state of Florida, Fort Lauderdale Board Convention Center, July 10th, the 11th, the 12th. Belizeans from the diaspora, Belizeans from home in Belize, join together. Let's do it again. 3 days, government services, clinics, business displays, kitty corner, pop-up trivias, panel discussions. There will be highlights for business mixers. There will be live performance of Racindio. Destiny Wagner is going to be there. There's going to be a live performance of Makobi. And you will have Immigration and Civil Rights Town Hall. Special guest Kenneth Gibson, interview and book reading. There will be a wind-up reception, rhythms and rum. It's happening, Belize Diaspora 2.0, Florida, Fort Lauderdale, Board Convention Center. Don't miss it.
This is a matter for our families, our children, our friends, and we must be better people. And so we must demonstrate that we will not tolerate anything related to any type of hate crimes. And if it happens, that we provide those persons with legal recourse to address those kinds of things.
At Atlantic Bank, we stand as more than just a financial institution. We are your partners in progress, dedicated to fostering your success by providing tailored solutions to micro, small, and medium enterprises. Your successes are our triumphs, and every success story deserves to be celebrated. We pledge to stand by you every step of the way. Today, we celebrate the values that define you with your unwavering dedication, steadfast commitment, boundless innovation, resolute work ethic, and unyielding ambition. We will navigate challenges, seize opportunities, and continue building the future together.
Nando's Wholesale is your market leader in Belize's wholesale industry when it comes to high-quality products at the most reasonable and competitive prices. With over 40 years in the wholesale business, Nando's Wholesale embraces the partnership of the hotel industry in Belize by providing world-renowned brands in wines, seasonings, condiments, and cleaners in industrial sizes, as well as small and large kitchen appliances and equipment. Nando's also takes pride in providing one of the quietest and most durable air conditioning systems in Belize with technical support and spare parts. Nando's Wholesale. Professional, reliable, effective, and prompt. Nando's Wholesale always delivers. Visit us at www.nandos.bz or send an email to nandos@nandos.bz. Or, even better yet, give us a call today at 222-500 or 280-8080 to speak to one of our sales representatives today.
Morning Vibes. The phone number is 280-5848, 280-5848. We just had two guests. Brother Curtis Boodoo, who is very knowledgeable and trained on utilities from the University of Trinidad and Tobago. And we had the manager of Spooner's Reggae Cafe. They big up the cafe, being managed by Black people, clean, spacious, on the Halover Creek, and there's a comedy event tonight. They're encouraging Belizeans to come out, buy your tickets for $20 each, buy up your drinks and your food, and Thursday night, come have one good time. Weather hopefully won't be good when people are on that deck. Call 280-5848 if you don't want to share about anything you want to share about. I'm going to share before I go on the break that last Thursday I had two students on from St. Ignatius Primary School, the unique West Bay, and Naveen Tingling. And they were vying for the title of Miss St. Ignatius. The theme was grace, intelligence, and leadership. And our niece won. So, Colleen, airtime, young people. There was one of the sisters, one of the little sisters who was competing, did a really good spoken word piece on Pulla Lightburn. And she was just as a basketball player. Pulla went to St. Ignatius. Clearly the lead sister took a time and memorized that monologue. It was good. And so I just wanted to give, young children, oftentimes we not see the best of our talent. And I know into beauty pageants, but I like this one because they focused more on character and the talent of the young people. So there is, if you're watching local television, it's showing right now on XTV. If you're live streaming on YouTube, XTV Belize, or on Facebook, XTV Belize, you'll see I think it was 6th or 7th young little sisters from St. Ignatius. It's the first time they have it. Our sister Sharon Marin Lewis was the MC, and so a good time was had last Saturday at St. Ignatius compound. I know I follow up to see how much people actually attend. The money what they get from it they use for the school and for repairs to be done at the school. So that's what you're seeing. They're about to announce the winner. Well, what I'm going to do, I'm going to recognize, then get individual awards. And so we're going to sit on the screen that at like 6 minutes. You can put on the audio, Alexi? No? All right. I push it, not true? So, just to make Belizeans see their children and hear their children from different communities and the people who came out and supported that pageant. And then the children had an opportunity because they were also on 2 other media houses in the city. So the opportunity for young people, just become comfortable with public speaking. The earlier, one of the things most people fear of public speaking, the earlier you get an opportunity. I smell we do it one time we have to work on projects at school and we present at school. Some people shy away from it. And then you may get an opportunity for them for one sports team, get interviewed by the media, or you get one opportunity to travel outside of the country. And you have to talk to different people about the experience you're having in another country. And that's why it's so important for encourage young people, the sooner the better, for expose them to as many things that are positive as possible. So like in a private schools, for example, children have a number of extracurriculum activities that they could choose from. It could be music, it could be art, it could be sports, it could be like one primary school I know in Placencia. At a young age, the children may have a particular interest in, let's say, being a scuba diver. So at a primary school level, they would the leaders of that school would pair the students with whatever their interest is, and they could have more than one, with align it with one particular theme in one of the academic subjects. So that by the time they graduate from Peninsula Elementary Limited, not only graduate to the standard 6, by the time they graduate to the standard 6, then don't have experience working maybe interning as a chef, if that I mean one of the interest, or working in whatever area. No, just think of that students coming out of one primary school in a standard 6, and you think of the experience where most students in a standard 6 have in the country, so that even though you're in a standard 6, the Belize, you have different lived experiences. And so really the education system and our fair system, the Belize, when you have, if you could afford for sending your child out in private school, you would have one opportunity like that. That should be offered to Belizean children in public schools as well. And so that one concern. I get a report back from remember I tell you out of St. Bite that there's currently a community initiative for ensure that the children from that primary school, St. Augustus Roman Catholic Primary School, eventually learn to be literate at grade level. The report back I got is that they've done a post-literacy test, and when school opened back, they report back to the community for sure the progress that has been made within the academic year 2024-2025. That because when community chose to organize and look after the interests of them students, because one of the students was denied at a high school last academic year because they said a child never had to read at grade level. So another primary school offered to work in solidarity with St. Augustus Primary School for a 5-year period, because then say usually take about 5 years for some meaningful growth in our children, for ensure that they master the skills what they need as students when it comes to literacy. Now, that's one major concern for me as it relates to Belizean students right now, that is country. Two other concerns we consistently get is that a number of our children from preschool to university level are not literate. And literacy is not only that you could read, that how fluid you could read, if you have how you pronounce words, and because we the English as a second language learners, because most Belizeans, their first language are not English. It could be Creole, it could be Spanish, it could be one indigenous language like Mopan Maya or Quechua Maya, it could be Mandarin, it could be Garifuna. For most Belizeans, their first language is not English. And that one of the challenge when I was sharing with our first guest, and I just to tell you what my experience that Belize. Each person have their own experience, and you could share it. The number is 280-5848. My experience that Belize is a number of people in leadership position are deeply mentally enslaved. They want just do what they tell them to do. You don't have people where they really come up with original ideas, or want to challenge the status quo, because what we have accepted from colonizers, not liberating for we as our people. So yesterday, most of the talk about some of our brothers that Kenya were refurbish old buses, and how different that is from the mindset that believes, where the first mindset is to buy buses, not to look at what we have, what we could use. Like that always never the solution. We tend to not look from within Belize what we could do for maximize what we have here. And what really inspire Belizeans to know that we could come up with our own solutions. And that's why I say I not come across, I would be pressed if somebody asked me within the different sectors of this country, who are the top 3 Belizeans where I would recommend who are credible, knowledgeable, competent, courageous, want to push back on the status quo, want to ask the hard questions. I can't. I'm not able to, because I don't know. No, that don't mean they're not out there. No, maybe I just not book them, maybe I just not hear about them, maybe I just not see them. And so, but that's my lived experience. And so it's very important that if now the state know that their children are literate, and they've known it for decades. The fact that they maintain the system like it is, that means it's working for them benefit, that then could send for their children to private school so that they will continue to be the leaders and the movers and shakers. When we look at the board of directors for BTL, that don't lie nobody tell you now. When you look at, I remember when this administration was first elected, that was the first time I hear that this is the first dynasty administration. What that mean? It take 40-something years, but the first administration where the people in a position of power and influence are related by blood or related by marriage. So they got in click. Now we the everyday people may or may not know that. That's not one concern. And so when you hear that the chairperson of BTL and the owner of one of the telecommunications company, CTI Next Gen, are biological brothers, that's a concern. Because we as stakeholders, we need to know what the process. At what point did BTL begin to, we not ask for general statements. We want to see the evidence at the board meetings. What we want to see the agenda. When was it tabled that BTL seriously consider one buyout, which I do not support? As Brother Curtis shared, the difference between when a monopoly, that means only one person to provide the service or one entity, or when you have one competitor, you have more than one person or entity to provide similar service, or what happens? How that they look out for Belizean people benefit? So if they don't have no competitor, none, then that means then could set price at any, and then because we don't have no option right now, you could go to BTL or Smart. But if then buy out Smart, then if you want, for example, cell phone service, you have to go to what they say. Or I don't know to what extent, I forgot the international provider, is Elon Musk? I think it is. I think PUC gave him access to, and I see the similar wording. I go look for it during the break. I go in a break and look for it because I see the wording in when that was a public conversation, and I see the same wording when it comes to underserved and something else communities that may have similar wording. So we need to have the Belizeans, Channel 7, XTV, to ring the bell. Well, a lot of time we don't find out about things until the deal done sign already. This not for happen. Enough for happen. The Brisenia family, based on the Channel 7 item, stand to gain millions of dollars because they own 20% of Smart, according to the Channel 7 news, as well as Centaur. Tens of millions of dollars. It is said that the entire deal could cost about 150 million Belize dollars, that we, the Belizean people, pay that, you know. We'll take one quick break and come back and find that wording and show, you know, and then we'll wrap for the day.
Take a deep breath. You feel that energy coursing through your body? That's because of me. I am the rainforest. I produce the air you breathe. I make it rain. I'm also your pharmacy. I'm home to more plants and wildlife than you're ever going to see in your lifetime. I work hard day and night, taking in all the carbon dioxide you produce and turning it into life-giving oxygen. My personality is singular. My biodiversity is mind-blowing. My generosity knows no bounds. But then, so does your greed. I give you everything I have for free. I don't want thanks. I just want respect. I want you to stop acting like I'm just bush. I want you to stop treating me like dirt. I want you to see life, not lumber. I want you to always be able to come to me and find your roots, to unwind, and yes, to always be able to breathe deep. That's a privilege many will pay for, but it's not about money. It's about having a future.
At Atlantic Bank, we stand as more than just a financial institution. We are your partners in progress, dedicated to fostering your success by providing tailored solutions to micro, small, and medium enterprises. Your successes are our triumphs, and every success story deserves to be celebrated. We pledge to stand by you every step of the way. Today, we celebrate the values that define you with your unwavering dedication, steadfast commitment, boundless innovation, resolute work ethic, and unyielding ambition. we will navigate challenges, seize opportunities, and continue building the future together.
Make light work lighter and quicker with switch technology from Axi Power Tools. Axi Switch technology breaks the bondage of power cords and grants you the luxury of freedom and precision. Switch one battery across all your Axi line power tools effortlessly, allowing for quick and efficient work. Cut the cords. Choose efficiency with Axi Switch technology. Only at Benny's. Quality and savings.
In 2024, the Belizean diaspora took over Los Angeles with the first ever Belize Diaspora Summit, and you know the only thing that could be ever better than that is to do it again. Belize Diaspora Summit 2.0. This time it takes place in the state of Florida, Fort Lauderdale Port Convention Center, July 10th, the 11th, the 12th. Belizeans from the diaspora, Belizeans from home in Belize, join together. Let's do it again. 3 days, government services, clinics, business displays, kitty corner, pop-up trivias, panel discussions. There will be highlights for business mixers. There will be a live performance. Vasindio, Destiny Wagner is going to be there. There's going to be a live performance of Makobi. And you will have Immigration and Civil Rights Town Hall. Special guest Kenneth Gibson, interview and book reading. There will be a wind-up reception, rhythms and rum. It's happening, Police Dashboard 2.0, Florida, Fort Lauderdale Port Convention Center. Don't miss it.
Hey Belizean students, ready to unlock your future? The Social Security Board is now accepting applications for its 2025 scholarship program. Whether you're aiming for vocational technical, high school, or an associate degree, this is your chance. To qualify, you must be a born Belizean accepted to a school in Belize, entering high school, trade school, or college for the first time, demonstrate financial need and academic potential. Don't wait! Learn more and apply online today at socialsecurity.org.bz. Deadline is Friday, June 27, 2025. Remember, only online applications are accepted. Unlock new opportunities for success with a scholarship from Social Security.
Back to the final segment of Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. Okay, so at the comeback on the look panel, June 4th, 2025, employee bulletin from DJ Human Resource Department. The wording where I'm going to look for is, these include deploying savings to improve services, expanding coverage to underserved and unserved communities, better value for consumers and employees, and a better return for our over 1,500 shareholders. Now, when you go to the Public Utilities Commission Facebook page dated 20 January 2025, it says PUC limits Starlink operations in Belize to emergency situations and unserved or underserved areas. That's the buzzword. No. Unserved and underserved areas. The Starlink Belize LLC SBL then submit an application to PUC for a class license to provide internet services across Belize. When you go read it for yourself, it's the SBL's license application sought approval to provide fixed broadband internet services to the public and mobile internet service for aeronautical, maritime, and terrestrial use. Anyways, I'd bring it to our attention, Belizeans, our interest for go find a Public Utilities Commission press release on Facebook. We want to thank the people who are calling this morning. Remember, 6 o'clock doors open. That's Spooner's Reggae Cafe for comedy night. $20 for the ticket. Belizean, enough we interest for somebody just call and share with me that they don't support the buyout of BTL and the competitor, because the person said that, you know, BEL and BWS are majority owned by Belizeans. But I don't see how that serve the interests of Belizeans. It serve the interests of shareholders, that they want capitalist model. It not serve the interests of the people. It serve the interests of the shareholders. And when I say shareholders, that are profit over people. And Belizeans are shareholders, but they're not enough of where we use the service, benefit from it in a meaningful way. Anyways, I show more on Channel 7 or I stretch more talking on it. The security guard this morning was Roger Rushford, better known as Rafa, right now as Shane Flowers, I believe. Here at XTV, the technical director was Alexa Belisle. The senior technician engineer holding over for Pacliff is Harlan Wagner downstairs, and the second floor at Crumraja, Larry Guerrero or Larry G was the technician. This show will repeat at 3:30. Remember, go to YouTube, XTV Belize, subscribe. Go to Facebook, XTV Belize, for programming at 6 o'clock this evening. There'll be a full news package here on XTV. With health and strength, I should be back here tomorrow morning. Until then, Belizeans, under the people and save the people.
Wake up, believe, wake up, believe. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put the time in. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. Voice of opinion and place your calling, WB. Be yourself, see yourself, this is a show, my people. Believe our hopes up to needless reason. Nobody feel left out, this the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No respect, unselfishness and cooperation. That's how we need to build a strong nation. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes, WB. And all the things that I feel happen and I got blue sky.